So it's another crazy week in the United States with Donald Trump as our president and this administration just going with whatever he says. And to tell you the truth, I think that they're equally kind of sick as him. Because I have no signs that they have any sense of morality or that they think that anything that Donald Trump is doing is terrible. So I think that he met people who are like him. He found his, cabinet who is willing to do whatever he wants, which is scary. And a lot of people were worried about this. And I tried my best to avoid watching the State of the Union, to be honest. And I watched a little bit of the Midas Touch people, State of the Union. Despite me trying to avoid it, I saw clips. And that's what I want to talk about today. My name is Matthew. I'm a concerned citizen. And I want to talk about the current state of the United States with my own people's State of the Union. To give us a recap of full transparency of what Donald Trump has done, where we currently are, and what's the future going to be like under Donald Trump. When Donald Trump was running for re-election in 2024, I saw some ridiculous signs, which were like Trump for peace. That turned out to be a load of bullcrap. I saw people supporting Donald Trump with their flags. I've seen less flags, but I'm not sure if it's because they don't support Donald Trump, or is it because they don't want to have to deal with the pushback of individuals around them because they know what he's doing is bad, but I agree with it. So Trump in his second term so far, continuing the same things that he did on his first term, but just the volume's turned up significantly so. Trump continues to lie. He continues to spread division. He continues to spread hate. Trump has been giving to the rich, exponentially so, more so than before. And for some reason, so many people in the United States are programmed just to accept it or to cheer on these rich individuals, right? I think that now I have woken up so much. If they didn't like that I was woke before, they definitely won't like me now, because I have learned so much with the exposure of how the rich control everything. I've learned about the Palestinian people, Ukraine, so much horrors at the hands of the United States, whether it be present day or in our past. So he continues to give tax cuts to the rich. And he has these backdoor deals, such as, I believe, the ballroom, where rich corporations, rich individuals will pay him directly for this ballroom and other kind of transactions that he has. The gold card to become a citizen, right? The gold watches, his Trump cryptocurrency. All things that I think are to appease Donald Trump so they can get what they want. Hey, before I had to go through regulation with the Democrats. I couldn't abuse with people. I couldn't fire. I couldn't have, I couldn't pollute the environment freely, in communities. And I had to pay up because I did these things. But under Trump administration, I see all that going away. I'm making lots of money. That's where they are. Look at the deal with Paramount Skydance. And now potentially buying Warner Brothers now that Netflix backed out. And I believe it was because direct intervention because of Donald Trump. Because he wants a media that is giving his narrative. Propaganda, that's what he wants. And David Ellison, just like all rich people, want more, are greedy, and they can't. That's who they are. They can't help it. I'm not, and that's, to tell you the truth, that's not even an excuse, because I'm just saying that they're so disgusting that they're willing to do whatever it takes. Sure, you want us to spread lies on TV? You want us to attack the American people? You want us to go after them? We're willing to do that. Just give us what we want. We want money. We want to be able to control a large conglomerate. We want power. And Trump's like, okay. It's disgusting. I mean, if anything I've learned through Donald Trump is I've become so disenchanted with brand loyalty. I don't even know why I was loyal to brands. Like, I thought that they cared. What an idiot, right? I never was a person to really celebrate, let's say, a politician or have a favorite politician or celebrity, but I was delusional with the Democratic Party. I believe that we can reshape the Democratic Party because they have shown how spineless they are. So let's take advantage of that and get the people that actually are fighters fighting for us in there instead of the corporate Democrats who want to continue what Trump has done, giving to the rich. So right now in the United States, average people are suffering. And the conversations that I hear, to be honest, and these are honest, true conversations that I hear people saying, as they put more regulation on Medicaid, they put more regulation on any type of program, they go after individuals, right? They get rid of DEI. They're like, hey, I think that I want to be able to help people, but the right people, people that deserve it. Who are we to say who deserves it, right? It's so easy to take what Donald Trump has done, I guess masterly so, or are we just, to tell you the truth, it's a mixture of, he just fed into what people want to hear, right? They looking around, they were like blaming people around them. He realized that and then fed into it. So I hear people going, there's fraud. There's fraud. Okay. There is, but nowhere near the amount that you're talking about. So I get annoyed when they go, the right people. Who are you to decide who the right people are? The more that we add regulations and kind of the administration, kind of the red tape into these programs, the more they cost to insure less people. And what does that do? It gives a lot of money into the hands of other people instead of actually giving money where it should go, which is treating people, giving health care. So he goes after Medicaid, does cuts, more cuts probably coming, more ways to introduce, new health plans probably into the Affordable Care Act, whatever he wants to call it, where you have to pay, let's say, lower premiums but higher deductibles. He's gone after nurses by stripping away them being called professionals along with other professions such as physical therapists, and already with a healthcare system that's suffering, to find healthcare workers. But that doesn't matter because guess what? I'm going to strip it so much that nobody's going to be able to afford to get healthcare. Nobody's going to go to the doctors. I know what that's like. Currently today, you want to know what the State of the Union is for the people? Like, I hold back on certain appointments because I get fearful, like, can I afford it? And actually, it's not even fearful. It's because I know I can't afford it. So I have to kind of go, my leg kind of hurting. My back is hurting. I can't do that right now because I have to go to get my dentist appointments done. So he attacks DEI immediately off the bat when he becomes president. Tries to, go after California and what they've done with the wildfire and trying to address it. But DEI, during that time, we saw him put pictures of a woman forest ranger. We saw him put pictures of black pilots. And he's like, look, unqualified people. That's what the Republicans were saying. Unqualified. This is unfair. But one thing that they never talked about when they showed these pictures of that black pilot and that woman forest ranger, they never once talked about their credentials. Just the mere fact that you had black pilots and a woman forest ranger, that was enough for them to automatically say that they are not qualified. The attack on DEI is to feed into people who feel like they've been wrongfully treated. White men who look around and go, oh my gosh, there's somebody who is black taking a position. There's a woman taking a position. This could have been mine. I didn't get that promotion because of it. Instead, did you even ask that they were qualified? No. So you see the ripple effects happening. And I see it like, it's not just watching TV and seeing what Trump is saying and doing. It's seeing it in the conversations that are happening around me. So, no minimum wage increase, but everything's going up. Trump has just empowered, private equity firms to attack the American people. We've seen numerous hospitals go out of business because of private equity. I saw a story on the People's State of the Union where a woman had spoke about her experience with private equity. They bought up her mobile home community or manufacturer community, and they increased the lot rent. Then they also added additional fees, such as water fees and administration fees. She's now at the brink where she's already talking to organizations to prepare for her transition from being in that home to being homeless. That's the state of our current country for everyday people. And I see the people, like I said before, who are talking and saying, the right people. But the one thing I always find interesting is that these people who are doing well, these are people who are in positions of power, and they don't realize not everyone could be in the position that you have. There's only so many, let's say, senior leader positions, manager positions, whatever it may be. Business owners. How many people have the resources to be able to get that? You look around and judge everybody and say, who deserve it. Meanwhile, you're not recognizing the suffering around you because you're so disconnected. Because here in the United States, we have a problem with looking at ourselves and saying me, 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 and not looking around about the suffering of others. So grocery prices are going up. People are not able to afford food. And then you have people on SNAP benefits villainized for buying, let's say, less healthy food to stretch their dollars. But yet in the past, I remember people on SNAP benefits were criticized for buying good food. Like someone looked at them and they said, oh, look, they're buying lobster. Oh, they're buying steak. I don't even eat like that. Instead of saying, oh my gosh, I'm in this position. What's wrong with this country? What can we do to make it better so I also can eat better too? No, they want to villainize the person who's on food stamps. You don't know their situation. That's where we are. So Trump has fed into the villainization of people, and it's worked tremendously because he's weaponized against immigrants, talking about illegal, not illegal. Black people have been continuously villainized. Women, going after abortion rights, want to go after voting rights, right? The Haitian community, Somali community, many others, Hispanics, right? He's inciting violence as he says these words that, for example, on his campaign trail, Haitian people eating cats and dogs. Somali people, look what's happening in Minnesota, the fraud. Immigrants, look how many of them are violent. That's what he's saying. So he attacks immigrants. He calls Dems names, saying they want fraud when he was talking about voting rights. He was like, voting ID. He was like, look, the Democrats want fraud. He says fellow Americans are committing fraud who are in these benefits. He's continuously, now recently, just started with Israel bombing Iran, which everyone predicted. It's really crazy. So when I look back at that Trump for Peace sign that I saw when Trump was running, I was looking at it at the time going, what a joke. And now I'm verified that what I felt was correct and what I knew was correct. And it doesn't feel good. That's the thing. I'm living in Trump's America realizing that every reason I did not vote for this man is coming true. Everything that a lot of us were told that we were crazy for, even from people on the left who were like, you're adding fuel to the fire. You're over exaggerating. You're making things up. Calm down. But the same people who did that are now freaking out or remaining silent. Trump has destroyed many things. And I want to focus also a little bit on with trans people. Trump has done a huge destruction to trans people in this country. Up here in my own community, I see the ripple effects of that. We have somebody by the name of Anthony Constantino, who owns Sticker Mule, a company up here, who sent a letter to individuals in the community saying that this local school's teachers were trying to indoctrinate their kids. This narrative of trying to groom children, right, by LGBTQ people and the teachers. So he's trying to run. I hope he doesn't win. He's trying to take Elise Stefanik's seat. And I see the impact of it. Like, a lot of people are trying to mimic what Trump does. And some people in the community are falling for it. I don't care if you're rich and you gave jobs, but look at, you're a millionaire. Okay. I don't know. I've become so disenchanted. Anytime a rich person does something, I'm like, what do you want? What do you want? You're trying to use us for whatever purpose it may be, and then you're going to toss us aside. So ICE, Trump's personal army, as I call it, says that they were going after, and Trump says they were going after criminals. They've locked up immigrants. The statistics show that 86% of the individuals that they have detained have no record of a criminal history. Citizens have been killed at the hands of ICE. We see that these officers are basically just waiting to attack people because they agree with what Donald Trump is doing. They're not trained. They are not skilled. And just like I was talking about before with DEI, they got rid of it because they were like, unskilled people are going into these professions. Black women are amongst the most educated in this country as far as demographics. Okay? So I should see a lot more black women in leadership, to be honest. But what I see with ICE is you're giving these jobs to these very unqualified people who are white. And I have to say, like, I'm Hispanic. There's Hispanics in there, and it's very shameful. He wants to use ICE for voting, for like standing outside of voting places to intimidate people, or he says what everyone falls for, I'm doing it to protect voting, to prevent fraud. In Buffalo, New York, ICE left a blind man out in the cold after they detained him, and he died. And there's plenty of stories like this of individuals who have been killed, who have been harassed, who have been left, abused. We don't even know how much is happening in these detention centers that they've built. Some individuals don't even have access to the full facilities. A lot of people want to focus, like Pam Bondi did as she was kind of interrogated, right, in front of the committee, the distraction game that they like to play. Look at the stock market. The stock market is up. But that doesn't represent how the everyday person is doing. And a lot of people fall for this. Whether it's Democrats or Republicans in power. I mean, Biden did this. They ignored the suffering of the people. Like saying, that's just telling me rich people are doing good. And the same is happening right now. So the rich are getting richer. If you can have money to invest, and I say significant amount of money. I know lots of investors want to say, hey, $1 or $2 makes a difference. And I'm not saying not to save. Okay? I'm not saying not to save. But let's be realistic. The amount of money that, say, a person who works in retail, fast food, as a waitress, when the amount of their rent, mortgage has gone up, the amount of their groceries have gone up, how much more do they have? I'm going to put 50 cents. How much is that going to get me towards the life that I need to live? I'm putting a lot of money, as much as I can. Let's say like $600 a month. I'm not anywhere near 500,000, 300, 200. So we've seen individuals like Tim Cook, Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, David Ellison, Elon Musk, just name a few, profit a lot. Donald Trump is a billionaire. And they want to villainize and go after fraud against what these people are doing, but they will take government contracts, do inside deals with Donald Trump, potentially illegal. It's really ridiculous. So, I'm just looking around and seeing the lack of empathy in the current state of America. I see people want to go back and attack, let's say, Democrats or anybody who calls out Donald Trump as us inciting violence. It's a joke. What the administration has done is, and for some people, for some reason, people continue to fall for it, is they play this game of innocence. I'm trying to go after illegal immigrants, criminals. I'm trying to make sure that states have the right to choose what is right for them for abortion. We have to protect the children. We're pro-life. We want to protect voting. Right? Protect voting. We're going to trust a man who tried to steal an election, who incited violence on January 6th, who tried to send fake electorates, who tried to get additional votes in Georgia, and then who is friends with Elon Musk. And by the way, on the election day, let's go back to that. Ballot boxes were burned. There were bomb threats. Okay? Because they were fearful that they would lose. But then you find out that the story coming out of Georgia is that Elon Musk had election interference, potentially so, because he was sending out pre-filled in ballots to people. What we've learned is anything they accuse other individuals of, they're guilty of themselves. So when I saw the clip of the State of the Union with Donald Trump, when he was saying, well, Democrats don't want voter ID because they want to commit fraud, I was like, people are going to fall for this shit again, despite his lies. And what it makes me really question, I was like, oh my God, people are going to fall for this narrative. Like they just want to go after and make fraud prevalent in voting. No, access does not equal fraud. Adding barriers is the Trump or Republicans' game, which is restricting voting, suppressing votes. So if you want a solution if you want ID, automatic voter ID in automatic registration for voting once you become of age and you're a citizen. Easy. Done. Sent. No extra hoops or hurdles. No one has to worry about, like, right now what's happening in Texas. Look at the example. People are going there already, more protection, they're saying. People are going there and they're told, you're in pending status. Sorry, you really can't vote right now. And they're pushing back. And they're saying, no, you need to fix this. They say, oh, can you get your other documentation? And they have to go back to their car. They're like, this woman was like, I prepared for everything that they're asking for. And a lot of people are watching that going, see, the system is working. They're protecting. I see suppression because I know family members who have had experiences where they've been turned away in the sense of like, oh, this is not where you're supposed to vote. And they keep on being sent back and forth. And they give up. So I know some people are not the people who are posting these videos are giving up. They're like, oh, I tried. And that's what they want. They want to suppress other individuals. Whether it's because I believe you're a registered Democrat or because you fit the bill of what would be voting against Donald Trump. I think that Donald Trump, like if you're in Texas, the reason why right now they would like James Tallarico to win is because they believe that people are racist and they don't want Jasmine Crockett to win. And I believe Jasmine Crockett is a fighter, right? I really do. I wish that she was my elected representative here because not only is she very educated, right? We talked about black women being very educated in this country. And she has shown that she is willing to fight for the people. James Tallarico, here's my thing. I have no issue with him, right? But when it comes to against like Jasmine Crockett, which one would I choose? I would choose Jasmine Crockett because I haven't seen James Tallarico, let's say, effectively fight or be in opposition and stand up for the American people, what we need right now, who are being villainized. And if he has, the challenge there is breaking through all the kind of static and propaganda machine of MAGA. Like, I've seen Jasmine Crockett break through. Like, I see that her being talked about on Fox News and other areas. That's the kind of leader that we need. Someone who could break through all of this muddiness and suppression that they're trying to do. So, let's close out. I truly believe we need to impeach Donald Trump. We need to remove him. We need to abolish ICE. They're already tarnished way beyond repair. We need to look in the mirror, because the reason why we got here is because we've ignored the racism. We haven't held people to account. Sorry, my allergies are acting up. We need to denounce those who are evil, those who do ill harm to others, those who judge others who without even knowing them, just based on the way they look or who they are, how they live their life. And I believe that we need to have a country that is free for anyone to practice the religion that they want, not one religion over another. I think the 10 Commandments should not be in schools. I mean, you can go to the library and maybe read about them. You can go to the library and look, maybe if you want to read a Bible, but then all the other religions would have to be there too, because you want to educate somebody. We the people say no. We say no to Donald Trump. We say no to this administration. We say no to hate. We've gone down the path of individuals like Gavin Newsom, where he temporarily, and I don't even know, this is my problem with Gavin Newsom, says about attacking identity politics, or, standing up for trans people, and say he fell into it, like with the supporting gays and non-binary people. We need people who are really going to fight for the people. And when someone's being attacked, we can call out and say, hey, you don't get to villainize and harass black people. And that's the problem. When we look in the mirror, we have to realize that a lot of this stuff was happening, but is now up to 100. Because black people were experiencing, with the hands of law enforcement, them being unjustly killed. Sorry, I already know. Them being unjustly killed in their homes. Them being attacked. Them being prosecuted even though they did nothing. So, I think that probably there's lots of individuals in this country who have been harassed, immigrants and others, who have clearly seen what's going on. There's lots of people who supported Black Lives Matter movement at the time, to be honest. I remember someone going, all lives matter. I was like, you're not getting it. You're not getting it. Because, from my view, this is like if I'm being attacked, Matthew, being punched, and I go, hey, I matter, Matthew matters. And they're like, everybody matters, Matthew. But I'm the one being attacked. That's what Black Lives Matter was about, reminding them that they matter. Stop harassing them. Stop killing their children, their brothers, their sisters. That's what it was about, and you completely don't get the message. I remember hearing someone say to someone else, like, to a black woman, for some reason they thought they could say this, and they were like, I really don't get the Black Lives Matter, all lives matter. That's what I believe. They had the audacity to say that to a woman. It was really insulting. I felt upset for them. I was not surprised by the individual because they were touting how much they were in support of Donald Trump. But it was really ridiculous, like going all lives matter. Where are those people right now as people are being attacked and killed and detained? To tell you the truth, this is what I see. They're like, oh, how are you doing? Oh, everything's great. I got this, I got doing this. They don't care. They don't care. That's because we need to focus on ourselves and realize that we need to stop just thinking about ourselves here in the United States. This is what got us here, because then when you're all alone and suffering and you're going, oh my God, help me, I need help, nobody's going to be there. We need to remind the government that they work for us. We do not work for them. So, hope to post more videos more frequently, at least once a week. I have other videos that I recorded that I have not posted, so sorry if they seem a little bit outdated. But, yeah, that's my current State of the Union. I watch the American flag flying in the distance over here. I look at the pain. I look at what we can do. And there's one over here flying too. But I look at it right now with not pride, to be honest. I look at it with disappointment. Because this was a country that so many immigrants is made by immigrants. And also what they've done to ICE officer said to Indian Native American, we're coming after you too. We don't care. Yeah, that's what the flag currently represents right now. And we need to change that, because I think that there's lots of good people behind that who care and want to do good. So we can't let evil win. I know even in times like this, it seems hopeless. But just remember, you're not alone. Often the loudest voice is paid attention to. They say the squeaky wheel gets the grease. So I no longer fall for the, we just want to protect people. We just want to protect voting. Ugh, please, don't tell me that. People who you protected the Epstein files. You're protecting criminals. You call gay people groomers. You call trans people groomers. You said Democrats were pedophiles. And you're protecting pedophiles. And your president potentially is a pedophile. I mean, we already know he's done horrific things already. He's a liar. So is this administration. There's plenty of more to say, to be honest. There's so much more to say about the horrific actions of this administration and Donald Trump. And what's even more worse is that every single one of them could be impeachable. So how much more do you need? Thank you, everyone. Like, subscribe. I hope you're doing well. My love goes out to each of you. Bye.